Hello, hello, hello. What's going on? It's your girl, Stevie Mills, and I am just excited. I'm excited because today we have a conversation with this amazing, beautiful, phenomenal, all the adjectives that I have that are positive, my sister, my friend, Taurea Vision Avant, who has been such an amazing spirit in my life for the past 5 years. And I say that I met her 5 years ago, but I met her vision and purpose when we were in a room of thousands of people, and she was on a stage, and I still get electrifying feelings from her whenever she just talks, because I remember being in that space and being like, how can I meet her? I need to know her. She is an amazing, dynamic, life-changing woman, and I didn't know who she was. I just felt her vibe. And then God positioned us to meet at an event in person, and I was literally shaking because I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm about to meet her for real. It was like a celebrity moment because I just remember her impacting the people who she came into contact with, and it's just been an amazing journey. I'm so grateful that I'm able to have her in my life and in my business, too, because she's helped me to make some coinages, like she likes to say. So without any further ado, what I want to do is to welcome my friend, my sister, one of my mentors, Taurea Vision Avant. Hello, Taurea.
Hey, Stevie. Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry, excuse me, Dr. Stevie. Thank you for having me here. I am so excited and so proud of what it is that you're doing, and I'm just grateful that you thought enough of me to have me on your show.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. I love the fact that you have always impacted every room that we've been in, like literally every room. I've seen you in a lot of rooms, and you've literally impacted, and then, the whole thing has changed, and I think part of that is because you bring you to the platform, and so I just want you to tell people more about who you are.
Oh, well, absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. Okay, so a little bit about me. I won't bore you guys too much with all the details, but I am originally from Virginia, and I am a graduate of one of the best HBCUs, Hampton University. How you doing? Stevie and I have our own little thing with that. But a graduate in computer science. I am a techie at heart. In fact, my guilty pleasure is not buying shoes and bags. I love gadgets. It's like a problem. And so with that being said, as a techie, most techies are not speakers, coaches, et cetera, we're very introverted. And so for me to be in the space that I am today is so crazy, but I had to create, this person that I am here. I wasn't always this way. I was very shy and quiet. However, fast forward to today, I have two major companies, and I'm establishing a couple of other companies, but my first is my for-profit, and that is our Book Profits Club, which is ran by Show Your Success. And in that, we work with speakers, coaches, and those in the space of network marketing, where me and Stevie actually first initially connected indirectly. But I help speakers, coaches, and network marketers to write books to grow their business, as well as really to be able to expand their businesses to multiple streams. But I have a new nonprofit, well, sort of new. We started it in 2019, January 2019, and it's called Urban CEO Network. And Urban actually stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming. And if I could I explain a little bit behind why I started Urban CEO?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I've always told people, before you start a nonprofit, make sure you got a for-profit that has some coin coming in, right? Because while, yes, when you do officially start a nonprofit, there are many advantages that you get. However, in order to have a proof of concept, sometimes before someone makes an investment into your company, they want to see that it's operational, that it works. So my goal for the first year was that we become an impressive company, grow extremely fast, and that's really what we did. But I decided to create an organization for individuals that kind of could relate like me. I don't come from a background of, entrepreneurs, barely come from a background of people who've really climbed the corporate ladder. My dad, he was able to really grow into his space, but that was just through error, and learning and growing and working his tail off. But, I mean, to really have a game plan, I don't think he ever did, to be quite honest. And so he didn't teach any of, the terminology, the lingo, the expectations. And so I would find myself in places, because I always believed in personal development, but I would go to, like, different meetings and organizational, events, and they would have, like, certain conversations that used to go right over my head. I mean, from anywhere to talking about finances, investing, expansion, growth, business, things of that nature. And I would just be sitting there completely overwhelmed, confused, and eventually, like what most people do that come from an environment where you did, this was not normal, you do nothing, or you just grind it out. Like, I have only known how to grind. I have only known how to just use my own efforts to build a business, and then come to find out, wow, there's all these resources. I could have had, funds that were given to me, all types of things that are available that we just simply don't know because we don't understand. So my goal is to have an organization like Urban CEO where we can be that bridge between the urban community and business success, and put people in a position where they're not overwhelmed, confused, and maybe they're coming from a place where they're just brand new into business. Maybe they made some bad choices, and they want to be able to also have a chance available to do better and do great things. That is what Urban CEO is all about. So, we do different events throughout the year, from monthly mixers to quarterly summits to conferences, and our intention is to be able to make those events available, not extremely expensive, affordable, so that people can attend, people can learn and grow, but be in an environment where they can be comfortable. So that's what we're all about, and I am so grateful because you are also an Urban CEO ambassador as well as our official publicist. And so I'm so excited. I know you're also a professor, and you're teaching our urban CEOs how to be able to get out there and get on the media. So I'm grateful again, Stevie, that you have been a part of this mission, and I can't wait to see where we go, years down the line.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it so much, because I know one thing that I've realized in the last couple of days, and I'm so excited about the work that we're doing with Urban CEO, because a lot of times people make business way too hard. They make business way too hard. It is definitely not hard, and I think for me it's crazy because I had a speaking engagement recently, and it was talking more about the Bible, and I was just talking to them. I was like, let me break this down. This is what I got from it. And I talked to one of my clients as well, and they were saying, you break it down like a third grader. And I was like, that's because I understand. I get it. And I think a lot of times people just make it too hard. Like and I think part of what I am realizing is that people do that on purpose. I think people want people to be confused so that they will keep them as, like, they'll keep paying them for the solution, but they never get the solution. And I think that is part of the issue of why people are having not as much success as they can in business. So I love the mission and the vision of Urban CEO, along with everything you do, because you teach the same in everything. As far as the books, you teach simple processes and all the stuff that actually help people to get money. And so I think that is incredible. What do you think about people really simplifying business and getting to the point of it all, of this is not as hard as we're making it?
Oh, absolutely, Stevie. Like, that's me all day long. In fact, I'm the girl who I don't need all of that. Just narrow it down. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? And I'm with you on that. Like, I think it's between two things. Number one, like you said, people will try to make it more complicated so that somebody is, feels like they need you. But the truth is, like, if you make me too confused, I'm just not going to do it at all. Right? And that's what most people end up doing, especially when you come from where we come from. Like, if you're just used to bootstrap, you're like, you know what, that just sounds like it's too much. I'd rather just try to figure it out myself. And then we end up making mistakes. Or number two, the challenge that a lot of business owners have is we sometimes forget that you have to learn to meet people where they are. It doesn't matter how much, how many degrees and things like that we tend to have. Just all those degrees to some people can be overwhelming, or your knowledge base, you speak in the language that you're used to. And people, like I was talking to a lawyer the other day, and she's like using all this lawyer vernacular, and I'm trying to tell her, excuse me, I'm sorry, look, I get it and all, but what does that mean? And can we just get straight to the point? Because I don't have enough time to sit on the phone for you to try to talk about all this lingo that's confusing me. And that's what I feel like, and it generally is our own people that do it to us. You know what I mean? Like, okay, once I get smarter, once I get this title or things of that nature, now I want to seem intelligent. But the truth is that for some people, that is too much. And so I think that, like you said, you know, we don't need to try to keep our people handicapped to us, because ultimately they won't end up being successful. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, as far as our people and people who look like us, I think even that's always been the thing. They've always had to try to fight for information, and it's really deep, because it's bondage. It's bondage.
Oh,
and
it is.
It's definitely something in which, you know, it's very appreciated that people, and like you said in your intro, people have made mistakes. They don't know. They haven't come from this place and that place. They have a skill or talent. And I love that one of the things that you do is to help, like, really realize, like, make this body better, or get this, turn your brain into a skill, something that we do naturally as people who have these skills, because we had to do it. Like, a lot of times, growing up, people couldn't go to the beauty salon, so they had to figure it out. They might not have been able to go to XYZ store and get these things, but we are women who still wanted to look good and smell good. So it's really going back to our ancestral days of how we got money when our ancestors didn't know how to read. Like, they couldn't read this, or they couldn't have the internet. And I think that is what is being called to do, and I appreciate Urban CEO for answering that call, because it's needed. People need it, and they don't know they need it a lot of times, because they are caught up in the minds of coaching and all the stuff, and still not going nowhere, but trying to act like they are. And so I think this is good. So one of the questions I always ask guests is to kind of fill in the blank, and I'm going to prepare the question for you, but Stevie, we cannot leave the conversation today without your listeners knowing, and then fill in the blank.
Okay. So, Stevie, we cannot leave this conversation today without letting your listeners know that, first of all, I believe that every single one of us listening to this particular show has a specific gift, okay, a gift. The Bible says that God will make room for your gift. That is singular. And a lot of times when we get into these spaces of being bosses, entrepreneurs, you know, go-getters, you know, we can be inundated with so much stuff. And what happens is then we try to do all these different things, and we become all over the place. And you know, like Jim Rohn says, a confused mind does nothing, right? And so the first thing that I want all of the listeners to understand is that you've got a gift. There's a specific gift. And I love the fact, you talked about, stuff that we've had to learn how to do out of survival. Well, sometimes God put us into that position to be in survival so that we can turn what we learned to survive into a thriving business. Ooh, that was good, girl. Write that down. Turn what you learn how to survive into a thriving business.
Yes.
And I think because we're so inundated with social media, news, TV, we sometimes see, okay, well, this person's doing that. I know how to do that. Let me run over there. And it ends up causing us, again, like I said, to be spread too thin. We want everybody to get a focus. Want everybody listening here to get a focus on one thing. And then once you figure out that one thing, grow, get your customer base, build a strong foundation. And then once you have people who are having results and they're getting success, then guess what? You can then bring on something else. But first, create a foundation. And so that's one thing. Like I've been preaching that because I see so many superstars just kind of like get lost in the sauce. And yeah, you made a couple dollars, but we're talking about sustaining long-term growth. And the only way you can do that is you've got to become known in a space for the gift that God gave you.
Amen. Amen. I think really like going back to network marketing is a system that you follow, and I think so many people buck the system of anything. They buck the system, and really I like getting sustained inside of one thing, and like you said, mastering that, then everything else could come from it. But we want to see, like, if this doesn't work, we're not going to give it enough time. And I think social media does speed up the time because it looks like in our minds, because it's images we're inundated with, that this person, she got it in 2 days, or she got it in 3 days.
Right.
That's not, we don't see the process of
it's not even true that she got it in 2 days. That's what sometimes I hate when we advertise stuff like that, because it's kind of like false advertisement. Like, yeah, you may promoted it for 2 days and that's what you got, but you've been building your network for years. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it ain't work that quickly. Now we all thinking it's going to happen like that, and unfortunately that causes confusion in the marketplace. And where there's confusion, nothing successfully can happen at all.
Whew. This is good. We're going to have you come back because this is good.
Well, you know, Queen, I am here and available. No, anytime Stevie asks me for something, I'm here because you have just been an incredible contribution to my life. So, no, of course, darling, I'm here. Let me know.
Yes, ma'am. You know, I love you with my whole heart. And so does my mama. My mama loves you, too. So
I was just going to say, tell Mama I said hey.
Yes. I want to ask you for your contact information so we can stay connected to you and continue to support in any way we can. So tell us all of those great details, please.
Absolutely. Well, first, for those of you who want to know about Urban CEO and joining the movement, becoming a part of what we're doing, make sure to go to urbanceonetwork.com. Now, you know what? I'm going to create some giveaways and goodies for y'all, because I've never done that yet for Urban CEO. You know, I do that for my business, my for-profit. But go to urbanceonetwork.com so you can find out details about the organization and how to join. That's also our social media handles, Urban CEO Network. And for anybody who wants to write a book, okay, all you need to do, you can join my free masterclass by simply going to abookin30days.com. Abookin30days.com. Just join right there, darling, and it'll get you plugged in. So urbanceonetwork.com and abookin30days.com.
Yes, go to those websites because they have blessed my life in insurmountable ways. I'm like, everybody go over there. And so I am Dr. Stevie Aisha Mills. Want to stay connected to me, go to howtomakeittothenews.com. Well, you can learn how to get on the news for free. I love always ending anything I do by saying, make it a great day. Don't have a great day. Make it a great day. Why? Because you, and yes, you too have the power to do so. Bye for now.